So, what does it feel to be 100 years old? How do you feel on this day?
I feel wonderful and amazed because I'm surprised that I could actually be 100, which is an unusual experience. And I like the idea, and I like the actual happening. It's quite amazing. It's the word that comes to mind, charming, but I can't make much sense out of the word charming. But it has a charm because 100 is a very special number, and certainly 100 years old is a very, very special number. And I have a sense of surprise that how could I ever have managed that? Certainly not because I tried. Certainly not because I earned it. Certainly not because of anything I know of. Somehow it happened. Here I am. And I am 100 years old. That's just unusual.
So you have reinvented yourself.
Reinvented myself, yes.
Almost every decade. You've been a psychiatrist, a cybernetician, an entrepreneur, a Maoist, a worker. What's coming in the next decade? What should we expect?
It's true. I have invented myself. I have been a worker in the factory. I have been an adventurer in Africa. I have been, and I can't really give all the elements, but many, many different people. And I've enjoyed every one of them. And I've also felt the hardships other people have felt too, and somehow it seems unfair that I have them as sort of my playthings. And they have had the reality of no escape, but I somehow are not being able to move on from one thing to another with the help of my friends, with the help of things I don't understand. And I think mostly the latter. I don't understand why and how, and yet it's happened that I have had rather exciting times. It's sort of symbolic because I spent a certain amount of time climbing up lampposts, putting on cross arms on the Trans-Canada Railway. And that seems very strange. And I have had many such experiences.
Yes.
And I'm looking after old people and climbing up 5 flights of stairs to get up, and with other help and so on. Carrying the old person down and helping them at what they needed.
I think the only identity that you still haven't explored is running for president. So maybe that still lies in store.
Run for president?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm up to that.
Well, who knows? Who knows? You're getting younger and younger.
Well, life has its ways, and it's quite wrong to think that you really control it.
Sure.
It sort of controls you. And you don't need to let it control you, and you can hold on very tightly to make sure that nothing happens that's unexpected. But I have never done that. I have allowed all sorts of things to happen, which would have happened anyway, but many people stop, and I haven't stopped them.
So as you look back at your life, and you have to narrate it, and you have to ascribe some meaning to it, what things stand out?
Well, I think that one's relation to nature is something that needs to be opened in a new way, because one needs to feel nature as being, to feel its aliveness of it and its capacity to shape itself in ways that help it to survive and help it to create and to make life itself open up into new avenues and ventures and styles, and things that nobody had ever expected before, because they didn't imagine that it could exist. And now it starts to exist. And now it's as an opening that I certainly feel inside of me, and I feel the wholeness of so many things that are really interconnected. And I'm not afraid of the interconnectedness of it all, that the tree is connected to the earth, and the earth is connected to the grass, and the grass is connected to the air, and all these connections exist and are active and open new connections in all kinds of myriad ways that make life possible.
But connecting it to your own biography and to your own life, how do you think it formed it? Do you think that you lived your life in accordance to this logic, or just to get back to your 100 years and the biographical side, not just the philosophical side? So in terms of your own biography, in terms of your own life, this nature philosophy, how did it shape your decisions?
Well, I try to allow myself to be a part of nature, to feel nature's thrust inside me and outside me, and those two are very connected. And that I am not isolated, and I am not alone, and I am connected to all the people of the whole earth, people I never will know and I don't know, and there's no way for me to know. And yet I have I've tasted many parts of life that most people don't ever have a chance to taste. And all the tastes put together brings a kind of knowledge that is more integrated than most people manage.
Mm-hmm.
And not because they're dumb, but because they just haven't allowed as much weirdness as I have allowed in myself and in others and around me.
Mm-hmm. So I'll ask you a more historical question or biographical question. When you went to Africa in 1969, why did you do that? Because it was a very critical period. So, the lab ran out of money that Peter Ozer gave it. You had this girlfriend that you loved, Franchette, who you wanted to be with, and you put a lot of things in your life on hold for a couple of months, and you went to Africa. In retrospect, maybe it was not the best time to go there in terms of the lab and your personal relationships and your marriage. Did you think about why you went there?
Well, if you want to bake a cake, you have to mix it up first and mix the batter so that it will create something you don't expect, and which is much more central and much more real than all the things that you do expect, and that social life tells you is going to be this or that. And I don't believe in that social life, and I don't believe in those explanations. I would rather take the raw happening and live in it and feel it and be a part of it than to sort of live in the make-up world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Well, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense in relation to the Africa trip, but it makes sense at a general level.
Yeah, my going to Africa was a wish to experience the rawness of a life that didn't have so much, hadn't been touched so much by tradition. These traditions that I understood, but I was reaching to something that had a tradition that I didn't understand and that would be fresh and refresh me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sort of a wild thing to do, and in many respects stupid. But then if one isn't stupid in a wild way, then you don't really, then you're being intelligent in an intelligent way, and that's by and large dead.
Mm-hmm.
People won't understand what I mean by that until they try it. Sometimes you just have to sort of say, okay, I have to leave the traditional world. I have to go away from what is expected, and I have to just do something on my own that is quite unpatterned already by all the traditions and knowledge and wisdoms of other cultures.
Is there something you want to say now, like as a final thought? If not, you can also say it later.
No, I just say that I appreciate the opportunity to be myself to some degree anyway, and to express my caring for the connectedness of all life, including things that we don't even think about as life with the, it's too primitive, it's too well developed, it's sort of outside of our realm of intellect, outside of our education, and all of those, that enormous amount of wholeness, which to me is holiness in the most religious sense. So the wholeness and the holiness are all together.